Hey, good morning. So today we're going to be working on removing the valve cover to do the valve cover gasket on the Project 92. We're also going to be removing the throttle cable, the CCV valves, but let's get to it.
JeepSolid.com.
So this is the process for doing the valve cover gasket on an inline 6 4-liter Jeep Wrangler YJ. And I'm really excited about this project because we're just going to keep tearing into this engine, tearing it all the way down. We're going to disconnect these vacuum hoses and get this throttle cable out of the way. These come off with a simple 90-degree twist and they just pop right out. There is another style to these CCV valves that just pull straight out, but the trouble is they get super brittle and they'll just break apart on you. This style is great where you just turn it 90 degrees, they pop right out. Now I also have the wiring for the fuel injectors out of the way as well, as I did a manifold gasket video recently. Be real careful with these valves because as they heat up and cool down, they get extremely brittle. They're very easy to break. Now that we have these hoses and things out of the way, we have easy access to the valve cover. Now we're going to go around and start removing bolts. Now some of these are studs and others are just regular bolts, so I definitely want to keep them in order.
Shop tip!
Now I keep an old egg carton in the shop and this helps me keep nuts and bolts organized if I'm taking things off and I want to keep them in a certain pattern. I just have like front and back, top, bottom labeled, and I put the bolts in a certain pattern, keeps things organized.
Shop tip!
So I'm thinking I really want to paint the valve cover, give it a really cool look. So do I go through the expense of having it powder coated, or do I just rattle can it with some high temperature paint? So leave a comment down below, let me know what color you think, and rattle can versus powder coat. Of course, remember, rattle can is going to be like, what, 1/8 of the cost of powder coating? So I kind of got to weigh the cost versus benefit. Of course, powder coating is going to last longer, be stronger, hold up better to temperature. But high temperature rattle can might do just fine, so I don't know, let me know what you think. Alright, let's pull up this valve cover and see what we find. Looks like we have some nasty burnt on oil deposits. Now we're going to replace this gasket and clean this surface up real good. Now I really like using Fel-Pro gaskets. I'll put a link in the description below of the gasket that fits the 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder. And dang, look at this gasket. Definitely not like a Fel-Pro. You want to spend some time cleaning the gasket surface here, getting it nice and clean. Being that this is an iron head, it is okay to use some metal products to clean it, you know, metal putty knife, that kind of thing. But you do want to be careful that you're not going to gouge the surface. But now the valve cover is a different story. It's actually made of aluminum, actually a very soft metal. So you want to use plastic putty knives or nylon brushes to clean this surface real good. You want to get it nice and clean, but you don't want to score the surface. So yeah, now it's just a matter of putting the new gasket in place, putting your valve cover back on, and we're going to go around and torque all the bolts to 55 inch-pounds. If that's all you're doing, the valve cover, hook everything back up and you're done. But not me. I'm going to keep tearing into this. I'm going to actually be taking the head off, taking all these valves out, cleaning this up really well. There's a lot of really dried on burnt oil in here that I need to get all this out, and I want to just keep tearing into this Project Jeep, so be sure to follow along. So that about covers everything on the valve cover gasket replacement. So if this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you want to follow along with this rebuild and some other shop tips and videos and stuff, I guess. Some things out of the way, we have easy access to the what am I working on? Easy access to the valve cover. And this I use in the shop, and it's hot. Now we're gonna replace this classic. Give it a thumbs up, and if this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you following along. Thanks a lot and have a good day.